Chosen one. Listen carefully. Heaven has drawn a line in the sand. What once pursued you cannot follow you here. The door behind you has closed. And the echo you hear is not loss, it is the sound of finality. You stand at the edge of a new chapter, trembling, yet radiant with purpose. The author of your story has written the words that end your suffering. It is finished. There was a time when the nights felt endless, when silence screamed louder than any voice, when you begged for answers that never seemed to come. You thought God was distant, but He was editing your chapter. Every unanswered prayer, every delay, every not yet, they were redirections, not rejections. Like a potter spinning clay, He was reshaping what you thought was shattered. You are not who you were last year. You are not who pain tried to make you. You have walked through valleys where even your own faith trembled. Yet you never gave up. You felt forgotten. But heaven never lost sight of you. There were angels stationed around your tears. There was purpose in the silence. And now, the page turns. There once was a young man, a chosen one like you, who had lost everything. His business failed. His closest friends disappeared. And even prayer felt hollow. Yet every morning he got up, whispered a single line, and wrote one sentence in his notebook. Still here. He didn't know it then, but God was writing endurance into his bones. Years later, when he finally stood in the place of promise, he looked back and said, "That season didn't destroy me, it delivered me." Endings with God are not conclusions, they are transitions. Every heartbreak, every goodbye, every closed door has been divine choreography. He was positioning you, not punishing you. The old chapter had to end because it was too small for your next level. You could not fit the future while still wearing the garments of grief. The voice of God thundered in the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 9. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. That's heaven's decree over you right now. The battle that almost broke you will never return. The storm that tested your faith has been silenced by divine authority. You have crossed the threshold of completion. Chosen one. Feel the air shift around you. The spiritual weight that used to sit on your shoulders is lifting. The storm has spent its final breath. The accuser has been silenced. Heaven has stamped your past with one word: closed. The time for explaining yourself is over. The season for defending what God already approved is finished. You do not need to convince anyone of your worth. You are stepping out of the ashes carrying gold. Your tears were the oil that anointed you for this moment. Do not look back. What you leave behind cannot define you anymore. You are crossing over from survival to stability, from testing to testimony. What tried to destroy you has become your evidence of endurance. The darkness that once mocked you now fears your name. You have become living proof that grace wins. Think of your life as a book written by the hand of God Himself. The previous chapters may have been filled with storms, heartbreaks, and confusion. But this page is where the tone changes. This is where heaven writes redemption in bold letters. You will not have to go through that again, because the purpose of that pain has been fulfilled. Let the wind of new beginnings brush against your face. Let your spirit exhale. You are free. Heaven is whispering, turn the page. And now, breathe. Do you feel that stillness? It's not emptiness, it's peace. Peace that surpasses understanding. Peace that says, you don't have to fight anymore. The same God who led you through the fire now leads you beside still waters. Chosen one, don't rush this moment. Let gratitude rise. Let your heart say, "Thank you for closing the door, even when I didn't understand." Because one day you will look back and realize, if that door had stayed open, you would have missed destiny. So lift your head high. Straighten your crown. You made it through what others didn't survive. This is not your ending, it's your emergence. If this word has stirred something deep within you, don't let it fade. Press like if it resonates. Share it, so another weary soul can find hope again. Subscribe if you feel the call to stay connected with these divine messages that remind you who you are. And in the comments below, write the number 777 as a sign that you are sealing this chapter with heaven's declaration, "It is finished." The valley is behind you. The dawn is ahead. And from this moment forward, you will never have to go through that again. You carry scars that speak louder than words. They are not stains of weakness. They are proof of survival. Every wound you've endured was a classroom where heaven taught you wisdom that comfort could never give. You thought you were breaking, but you were being rebuilt in secret. There were nights you pressed your hand against your heart and whispered, "God, why does it still hurt?" And heaven stayed quiet. Not because he didn't care, but because healing often begins in silence. Pain was the language of transformation, the chisel that shaped your spirit into something unshakable. Your scars are not random. Each one is a map, marking where grace met you. The heartbreak that left you trembling became the soil where empathy grew. The betrayal that made you question love taught you to recognize true loyalty when it finally appeared. The loneliness that once crushed you has now become your sanctuary, where you meet God without distractions. Imagine a tree struck by lightning. Its bark is scarred. Its branch twisted, but deep inside. New rings form. Strength hides beneath the surface. That's you. What lightning meant for destruction became your reminder of endurance. You don't just survive storms, you record them in your soul. Like sacred tattoos of triumph. There was once a chosen one who walked through a season of unrelenting pain. He prayed for relief, but instead received endurance. People looked at him and saw struggle, but heaven looked and saw refinement. One day, when the season finally lifted, he realized something powerful. His prayers had changed. He no longer asked, "Why me?" He began to say, "Thank you for trusting me with this fire." That shift was the real healing. You have felt abandoned, but God was there, silent. Yes, but working beneath the surface, he was removing what could not go with you. He was pruning relationships, mindsets, even opportunities that were too small for your destiny. Every loss was a divine trade. What you gave up was temporary. What you gained is eternal. According to what is revealed in the book of Hosea, chapter 6, verse 1, "Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us, but he will heal us. He has injured us, but he will bind us up." You were torn, but you are being healed. You were injured, but the divine hands that allowed the breaking are the same hands now binding you together with light. God did not abandon you in your suffering. He transformed it into sacred soil for your restoration. Every sleepless night, every tear that fell unseen, was noticed. The heavens record what the world overlooks. There are angels who carry the memory of your endurance before the throne, Your tears became testimony. Your weakness became worship. And now, when you look at your scars, do not see shame, see signatures. Signatures of divine craftsmanship. Evidence that God Himself handled you with care. You have become a carrier of quiet strength. You no longer need to announce your healing. Your presence speaks it. When others see you, they sense peace that cannot be faked. You walk differently now, not because you are perfect, but because you have seen too much of God to ever doubt Him again. The season of bleeding is over. The bandages are coming off. The places where you were once wounded are now glowing with wisdom. You have become like stained glass broken pieces joined together by divine artistry, turning pain into light. Do not curse the journey that shaped you. You are wiser because of it. You see through deception quicker. You discern truth faster. The old you would have broken again, but the new you bend. But you do not break. You are living proof that suffering can be sacred. What you endured is not your identity, it's your initiation into divine maturity. You are not a victim of pain. You are the evidence that pain cannot destroy purpose. You are no longer walking with open wounds. You are walking with holy wisdom. The fire that once threatened to consume you has become the very flame that lights your path. Every lesson carved into your soul has purpose now. And even your silence carries authority. There will be moments ahead when memories try to whisper pain again. But when they do, remind yourself, this is not who I am anymore. You have been remade, refined, and redefined by the one who never wastes a tear. What once felt like breaking was really birthing. So, walk forward gently, but confidently. You are healed, not hiding, whole, not haunted. The past has lost its grip, and your future recognizes your name. This is your becoming. You have walked through fire and come out breathing peace. But now, chosen one, the question heaven asks is simple. What will you do with the strength you gained? Because the scars were never just for survival. They were training for the mission ahead. There comes a moment in every divine journey when God stops asking you to heal and starts calling you to build. That moment is now. The same hands that once trembled in surrender are being prepared to carry purpose. You were not rescued to stay quiet. You were rescued to rise. Remember the season when you felt unseen. It was not a punishment, it was a molding ground. God was shaping your heart so that when visibility arrived, humility would remain. The quiet years taught you how to move by faith, not applause. You learned to hear the whisper of heaven in the middle of chaos. You learned to trust instruction more than emotion. You may not have realized it, but heaven has been rehearsing you for responsibility. The same way a soldier trains in silence before battle, your preparation took place in hiddenness. Every disappointment became resistance training for destiny. You were learning how to carry weight without breaking, how to stand alone without losing balance. There once was a chosen one, a woman who felt forgotten by time. She had prayed for opportunity, but instead received obscurity. Then one day, in an ordinary conversation, her story poured out to someone who desperately needed hope. That moment changed a life. She understood then that her pain had become language one. Heaven could now use, you are that language now. When you speak, others feel deliverance. When you walk into a room, peace follows. You carry something sacred that doesn't need validation. It simply is. The apostle reminds us in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 7, "But we have this treasure in jars of clay, to show that the surpassing power belongs to God and not to us. Len, you are the vessel, not the source. Your fragility is not your flaw. It's the evidence of divine partnership. You are not powerful because of your perfection, but because of your surrender. The cracks in your soul are where His glory leaks through. Don't despise the places that still ache. Healing does not erase history. It redeems it. What once made you cry now makes you wise. What once made you question your worth now confirms your calling. The enemy tried to make you feel disqualified, but heaven saw something different. Heaven saw endurance. Heaven saw compassion. Heaven saw someone who would never forget where they came from, no matter how high they rise. Now, as you move forward, understand this: your voice carries weight, not because of eloquence, but because of evidence. You've lived what you speak. That's why when you declare peace, storms listen. When you command hope, despair loses grip. You are not simply speaking words, you are releasing power shaped by fire. So today, take a breath and type these 3 words in the comments. Light through me. I'll do it as an act of alignment, a statement that you are ready to be a vessel of hope, to carry illumination where darkness once ruled. These words aren't for attention, they're for activation. You're declaring that what once hurt you will now heal others. You're saying yes to being used by God in quiet and mighty ways. The waiting season refined you. The pain trained you. The silence prepared you. Now, destiny is at your door, and when it knocks, you won't tremble this time. You'll open it with steady hands, eyes lifted, heart sure. You were born for this moment. When you type, light through me, you are not just writing a phrase, you are stepping into agreement with heaven's agenda. You're telling God, use my story, even the broken parts, to bring clarity to someone else's darkness. Those 3 words are a surrender and a commission in one breath. Because light does not argue with darkness, it simply appears. That's what your life is, becoming an answer, not an argument. Every lesson you learned in silence, every tear you hid from the world, is now transformed into beams of wisdom that guide others through what once trapped you. You are proof that healing shines, so stand tall. You are not the same soul who entered the storm trembling. You have become light, steady, holy, unshaken, and through you, heaven will reach places sermons never could. Your very existence now preaches grace, louder than words ever will. Some doors do not open because they were never meant to. You spent months, maybe years, pressing against them, believing that persistence would make them yield. But heaven was guarding you from entering a place that would have cost you your peace. What you called rejection was in truth divine redirection. You remember those moments, the job you almost got, the relationship that almost worked, the plan that almost succeeded. You thought you were being left out, but you were being lifted up. God saw what you couldn't, the hidden traps, the spiritual decay, the compromise that would have diluted your purpose. The closed door was not God's silence, it was His shield. There was once a chosen one who prayed for a specific door to open a partnership that promised recognition and success. Every time she reached out, it failed. She questioned her worth, her faith, her timing. Years later, she discovered that the very people she once chased had fallen into corruption. Had that door opened, she would have been destroyed alongside them. What she thought was delay had been divine mercy. We are quick to praise God when He opens doors, but wisdom grows when we learn to thank Him for the ones He closed. Every no from heaven carries the echo of "not this way." Every time you felt unseen, God was rerouting you toward protection. Sometimes the greatest miracles come wrapped in disappointment. There are doors that glimmer beautifully from the outside, yet rot behind the frame. There are invitations that seem like opportunities, but are traps in disguise. God sees where those paths lead: the exhaustion, the compromise, the slow fading of your fire. So He blocks it. He lets it fail. And though it breaks your heart for a moment, it saves your life for eternity. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. This is not just a comfort, it is a reminder of sovereignty. You are never left stranded between closed doors. Every time one shuts, another, greater, quieter, wiser waits around the corner. The path you walk is not random, it is scripted by a God who knows the beginning and the end simultaneously. Think of it this way: a shepherd sometimes closes the gate at night, not to imprison the sheep, but to protect them from wolves. That's how God has treated you. Every time you were frustrated by a closed gate, He was standing watch on the other side, ensuring that nothing unholy slipped in. The waiting, though painful, was building discernment. You began to understand that not every glitter is glory. You started to value peace over popularity, purpose over pace. The world taught you to chase, but heaven is teaching you to trust. In time, you will see the divine fingerprints on every delay, the unanswered email, the silence after your prayer, the missed connection. All of it formed a pattern that spelled protection. The moment you stop demanding explanations is the moment your spirit begins to rest. It's not that you were unworthy, it's that you were reserved. Reserved for something purer, for people who can handle your depth, for assignments that match your calling. God didn't forget you, He filtered your future. The doors that refused to open have already testified on your behalf. They said, "This one belongs to God. This one is marked for more." That's why you couldn't fit in, no matter how much you tried. Some rooms are too small for your anointing. Let that truth settle deep within you. What you lost was never meant to last. The rejection was protection. The detour was direction. Every time a door shut, heaven whispered, "Not here, not yet, not this. Oh, and someday, you will walk through the right door, the one that feels like breathing after years of drowning. When that happens, you'll understand why every wrong door had to close first. You'll look back and smile, not in bitterness, but in reverence, because you'll finally see what God was doing all along. He was not denying you, He was defining you. So rest now, chosen one. The doors that belong to you will not require you to beg, strive, or chase. They will open with divine ease, because they were built with your name already engraved on them. And when that door opens, it will not creak, it will swing wide, releasing light you never imagined. You'll step through it with steady hands and a quiet smile, knowing every detour was destiny in disguise, and every no was really God's gentle wait. Oh, Sometimes God quiets everything not to punish, but to prepare. When the noise fades, you finally hear the rhythm of his heartbeat guiding yours. You are standing in that quiet place now, between what was and what will be. It's a holy pause, a sacred inhale before destiny exhales. In this stillness, heaven is tuning your spirit. The distractions that once drained you are being silenced. The voices that used to confuse you are fading. God wanted to bring you back to the sound of truth, the sound of purpose. This is where clarity begins. You see, even eagles rest before they soar. They wait for the right current of wind, then stretch their wings and let grace carry them higher. You are that eagle now. Your waiting is not wasted, it is worship. You are learning to trust the wind again. There was once a chosen one who spent years fighting to make things happen. She hustled, pleaded, and forced doors open, only to see them crumble. Exhausted, she finally stopped, striving. In that moment of surrender, peace entered. Opportunities began to find her, not because she chased, but because she aligned. When she learned to move with grace instead of pressure, everything changed. You are being invited into that same flow, where movement is effortless because it's divinely guided. Heaven is teaching you that stillness is not idleness, it's strategy. As was spoken in the sacred texts of the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 15, "In returning and rest you shall be saved. In quietness and trust shall be your strength." Your strength isn't in noise, it's in trust. The same silence that once scared you is now becoming your sanctuary. You are being rewired to rest before you run. This pause, this breath, this space between it's where miracles begin to form. It's where your spirit becomes magnetic again. When you are aligned with peace, blessings don't need to be chased. They are drawn to you naturally. And maybe, just maybe, this is one of those divine pauses where even this message finds you exactly when you needed it. If these words have touched you, if you've felt something inside whisper, "This is for me," take a gentle moment and let that gratitude rise. You can show your support, not out of obligation, but out of resonance, because when something blesses you, your heart naturally wants to bless it back. Press like, as if lighting a candle in a quiet chapel, one small flame of gratitude that joins 1,000 others in this digital sanctuary. Share this message, like pouring living water into the desert of another soul. You never know who's thirsty for hope until your drop reaches them. Subscribe so that every new word of faith finds you right on time, like dawn visiting your window each morning. And if you ever feel led, donate not as payment, but as planting a single seed into the soil of light. That seed doesn't stay where it's placed. It grows roots into unseen hearts, blooms into comfort, and multiplies as grace. What you give is not leaving your hands, it's expanding your reach. You are not being asked, you are being invited to keep the flame glowing, to let the river flow, to sustain the echo of words that once found you in your storm. Even the smallest act becomes sacred when done with love. And for those who can't give anything tangible, your silent prayer and your presence here, those are offerings heaven cherishes. So rest now. Breathe deeply. Know this moment of stillness is also a moment of creation. The wind that carried your pain away is now gathering beneath your wings. Soon, you will soar again stronger, lighter, freer. Light the candle, share the river, plant the seed. and watch how heaven multiplies your kindness into miracles beyond your sight. When you give, something invisible happens. Your act becomes a ripple in eternity. One spark of generosity ignites another, until countless unseen lives are quietly touched by your light. The message doesn't end here. It travels through hearts like wind through leaves, whispering, healing wherever it goes. And that chosen one is the mystery of divine exchange. When you pour out love, heaven refills you in unexpected ways. The blessing you send forward always circles back, multiplied, wrapped in peace, delivered in perfect timing. Nothing you release in faith ever disappears. Each act of kindness, each moment of support, is another thread in the great tapestry God is weaving through your life. You are part of something vast and sacred, a story of light stretching across the world. So keep your heart open, keep your flame alive. The light you nurture today will guide someone home tomorrow. The season of stillness has passed, and now the air around you begins to hum again. It is subtle at first, the quiet stirring of destiny awakening inside your spirit. You can feel it, the sense that something long delayed is finally aligning. Heaven has shifted the gears, and this time, you will not return to what once was. You have crossed through endings, walked through fire, and learned to trust the silence. Now, the wind is at your back. What once resisted you begins to release where you once had to push. Now, grace begins to pull. You are stepping into the rhythm of divine acceleration. There once was a chosen one, a man who spent years in what felt like endless waiting. Every opportunity slipped through his hands. But one day, the same door that had been sealed for years opened with ease. The difference wasn't the door, it was the man. He had changed. His heart was steady, his faith matured, his discernment sharp. What once would have destroyed him now recognized him as ready. You, too, are entering that space where what used to overwhelm you will now obey you. The tests that once made you tremble will now testify on your behalf. You are no longer walking as the one who pleads, you are walking as the one who carries authority. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." And your morning has arrived. The tears that soaked your pillow were not wasted. They watered the ground of your breakthrough. Every sleepless night, every whispered prayer, every ounce of endurance has produced a harvest. You are now ready to gather. This new chapter is not just about blessing, it's about embodiment. You are no longer just speaking faith, you are living it. You don't chase signs anymore. Signs begin to follow you. Heaven moves with you now because your heart beats in sync with divine timing. Still, heaven leaves you a gentle reminder. Do not run ahead. The same patience that carried you through the wilderness will sustain you in the promise. You don't have to prove your readiness. You only need to remain in peace. Grace flows best through a calm vessel. Think of a river after heavy rain. It once rushed, wild and muddy, but when it settles, it reflects the sky perfectly. You are that river now. God has calmed your storm so that His reflection can appear through your life. There will be people who wonder how you suddenly made it. They will see the elevation but not the excavation that came before. Do not explain yourself. Simply walk. Those who truly see will understand that this is not luck, it is alignment. Chosen one. You have reached the moment where your obedience has matured into overflow. What once took months will happen in moments. What once required striving will now unfold in stillness. But remember, this new level comes with new stewardship. What you carry now is holy. Treat it as such. And as heaven seals this word over you, there is a symbolic act you are invited to make. A declaration not to earn favor, but to acknowledge what heaven has already done. In the comments below, write the number 555. Do it as a sign of divine transition, 5, symbolizing grace multiplied. A triple witness that your old season has expired and your new one has begun. You are not writing for visibility, you are writing for agreement. It is heaven's way of watching you say, yes, I'm ready to move. When you type it, imagine your spirit signing a covenant with the future. Imagine angels recording your obedience. Imagine heaven smiling, saying, this one understands now. Because this is the shift moment when wilderness ends and promised land begins, when silence gives way to song, when delay turns to divine delivery. You are not the same soul that entered the storm. You have been reshaped, recalibrated, and refined. You have learned that waiting was not wasted, it was worship. And now, heaven answers. Move forward. Step into the open field of new beginnings. Let gratitude be your compass. Let peace be your proof. Everything that once felt impossible now bows to the timing of God. You will look back and whisper, so that's why it had to take this long. Because now you'll realize you weren't waiting on the blessing was waiting on you. The number 555 is heaven's code for transformation grace unfolding in every direction. It marks divine movement, a triple confirmation that change is sacred, guided, and irreversible. You're not shifting by chance, you're shifting by design. You have carried the weight of misunderstanding for too long. People looked at your struggles and thought you were cursed. But they never saw the battles that took place behind closed doors. They judged your storm without knowing your strength. What they called chaos, heaven called construction. Every trial, every delay, every heartbreak, it wasn't evidence of rejection. It was the mark of being chosen. The attacks came not because you were weak, but because you carried something the enemy feared. You have always been set apart. You have always been marked, and though you didn't understand it then, heaven was proving you through pressure. You were never cursed. You were commissioned. What others saw as loss was heaven's way of stripping away false layers, exposing the gold beneath the dust. The pain that once humiliated you is the very thing now validating your anointing. There was a man in Scripture whose story mirrors yours, Joseph. Betrayed by those closest to him, thrown into a pit, forgotten in a prison. Everyone around him thought his life was ruined. But in reality, God was positioning him. Every setback was a step toward the palace. The pit was not punishment, it was a prophecy unfolding. That same pattern has shaped your life. The betrayals that stung, the seasons of silence, the sudden endings, they weren't curses. They were coordinates guiding you to destiny. When God marks you for greatness, He also marks you for refining. Every fire you've endured was purifying the gold within you. According to what is revealed in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. Oh, Do you see it now? The pain you thought would break you actually expanded your capacity for glory. The nights you cried out in confusion were the hours heaven was rewriting your name. You have graduated from pain to power, from confusion to clarity. If you could see what heaven sees when it looks at you, you would never doubt again. You'd see not the scars, but the seal. You'd see a warrior carrying the scent of survival and the fragrance of grace. You'd see someone whose very presence testifies that God redeems all things. There once was a chosen one who believed she had lost everything. Her relationships fell apart. Her dreams collapsed, and even her faith wavered. But in that lowest valley, something sacred happened. She began to pray differently, no longer for escape, but for endurance. That shift opened heaven's floodgates. What once looked like ruins became the foundation for her restoration. That is what's happening for you now. You've shifted from asking, "Why me?" to declaring, "Use me." That change in posture has changed everything. Heaven responds to surrender, not complaint. You have walked through rejection that would have broken many, yet you still speak peace. You have faced betrayal and still choose love. You have carried burdens that others could not see, and yet you never lost your compassion. That is divine strength, quiet, enduring, unshakable. You don't need to defend your journey. Let your fruit speak. The peace you carry now is proof enough. Those who once misunderstood you will see the evidence of grace in your life and realize you were chosen all along. You are a lighthouse that learned to shine through storms. You didn't wait for calm waters. You learned to illuminate the waves. That's why your presence disrupts darkness. It remembers how to survive it. You were not cursed for being different. You were crafted to carry difference. The world needed someone who could walk through fire and not smell like smoke. Someone who could be broken but still believe. Someone who could be crushed but not consumed. Chosen one. You have walked through the valley of shadows and discovered the hidden mercy within it. You've learned that the anointing doesn't come cheap, it's pressed out through pain. But now, you carry something pure. Something heaven entrusts only to those who endured. The attacks proved your assignment. The rejection confirmed your rank. The very things that made you question your worth are now evidence of your calling. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are right on schedule. Every detour was destiny in disguise. Let peace settle in your chest. You don't need to chase validation anymore. You are enough. Because the one who called you is faithful. The storm didn't curse you, it crowned you. And now, as the clouds lift, you will begin to see what the struggle was building. Wisdom, strength, compassion, and unshakable faith. The very things the enemy tried to destroy have become your armor. You are no longer defined by pain. You are defined by perseverance. You were never cursed. You were chosen. Every story of light begins with a moment of darkness that tries to convince you it will last forever. You remember that moment, don't you? When everything around you felt heavy, when every door slammed, and even prayer felt like speaking into a void. That was not abandonment, it was exposure. God was revealing what could not remain when His glory arrived. Darkness is not the absence of God, it's the place where His light prepares to appear. You were never alone in those empty nights. Heaven was closer than you imagined, standing beside your weariness, waiting for you to stop fighting and start trusting. The hardest thing to do in that valley was not to keep moving, it was to be still. There is a story of another chosen one, A young artist who lost everything when his gallery burned down. His life's work, years of creation, turned to ash overnight. Everyone pitied him. But months later, when he began to paint again, something new emerged. His brushstrokes carried depth, emotion, and vision he had never known before. The fire that took everything also gave him something perspective. The ashes had birthed art that carried eternity within it. That is what happens when God rebuilds a life that's been reduced to fragments. The very thing that tried to erase you becomes the palette for your rebirth. The pain that once defined you becomes color in his masterpiece. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." No, you were never meant to stay hidden in the rubble. You were meant to shine from the ruins. Proof that resurrection is not a myth, it's a movement. What you went through did not disqualify you. It distinguished you. It separated you from the ordinary so that heaven could make your story extraordinary. When you thought you were being buried, you were actually being planted. The soil of sorrow covered you for a time, but roots were forming in silence. You were learning endurance, learning to draw strength from unseen sources. And now, the same soil that once held you down is breaking open to release your bloom. God does not waste fire. He uses it to refine what cannot be destroyed. Like gold in a furnace, you have been heated, pressed, and purified. Everything false melted away. Only the true essence of who you are remains. If you look closely, you'll notice that your spirit has changed. You react slower now, love deeper, forgive faster. That is not weakness, it is wisdom. You've learned that peace is more powerful than pride, that stillness carries more authority than shouting ever could. There will always be moments that try to remind you of who you were before the fire, before the healing. But when they come, stand tall. You are not that person anymore. The version of you that doubted every promise has been replaced by one who knows that even ashes can glow. There was purpose in every unanswered prayer, in every lonely night, in every season that seemed silent. God was not ignoring you, He was maturing you. You were learning to recognize His presence not by what you felt, but by what you knew. Faith became your compass when sight failed you. And now, you stand as evidence that the dark cannot hold what God has lit. You carry light that terrifies shadows. You walk with the quiet authority of someone who has seen the bottom and lived to tell the story. This is not arrogance, it's awareness. You know who brought you through. You know the cost of the oil you now carry. You've paid for it in tears, in obedience, in endurance. That is why your presence shifts atmospheres. You carry proof of resurrection power. Chosen one. The fire did not destroy you, it defined you. The darkness did not consume you, it clarified you. And every scar you bear now glows faintly with redemption's light. You are not a victim of your past, you are a vessel of divine purpose. You walk forward, not with fear, but with sacred fire. You've become a living parable of grace, a reminder that even in the darkest night, heaven never forgets its stars. The ashes were never the end. They were the beginning of brilliance. And now, every step you take leaves a faint trail of light behind you, a quiet testimony that even ruins can resurrect. You are walking proof that grace rebuilds better than before, and that what once burned now blazes beautifully for God's glory. There comes a moment when heaven stops whispering comfort and starts declaring command. You are standing in that moment now, the bridge between healing and purpose, between being restored and being released. The time for hiding is over. The light that was refined in private must now shine in public. You have carried your story quietly, unsure if the world was ready to hear it. But God is saying, speak, not to glorify pain, but to glorify redemption. Your voice is a weapon forged in silence, and the enemy fears what will happen when you finally use it. For too long, you questioned whether your story mattered. You thought, who would listen? Who would understand? But what if your testimony is the missing piece in someone else's survival? What if the very pain you hid was the key that could unlock another soul's freedom? There was once a chosen one who had been through deep betrayal. She lost faith in people and vowed to stay silent forever. But one evening, she felt a strong pull to share her story online, not for attention, but for honesty. Her words reached thousands. Among them was one person on the verge of giving up. That person wrote back, "Because of you, I didn't." And in that moment, she understood. Her pain had found purpose. That's how heaven works. God doesn't waste stories. He multiplies them. Every time you speak from scars instead of wounds, healing ripples outward. The courage to share becomes medicine for others who think they're alone. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 1. Verse 9. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth. This is your confirmation. The words that once trembled on your tongue are not your own. They are divine instruments, carrying the vibration of deliverance. When you speak, heaven partners with you. You're not just sharing, you're releasing chains. Don't underestimate the power of your authenticity. You don't need perfect language or rehearsed lines. The most powerful testimonies are born from trembling voices. Every time you tell your truth, darkness loses territory. The world doesn't need polished stories, it needs honest ones. It needs your truth, the raw, unfiltered version that smells like ashes, yet shines like redemption. You are not telling your story for pity. You are telling it as prophecy. What once broke, you will now build others. And maybe right now, as you read these words, something inside you is stirring a quiet nudge that says, it's time. Don't resist it. It's not coincidence. It's commissioning. The same God who carried you through the valley is now calling you to speak from the mountain. So, as a prophetic act of agreement, type these words in the comments. My voice rises. Oh, write it as your declaration that silence no longer defines you. You're not typing for attention, you're testifying that your story still breathes, that your hope still stands. Those 3 words signal heaven that you are ready to release what's been locked inside. When you write it, imagine the old silence dissolving like morning mist. Imagine your lungs filling with new air, purpose, peace, power. You are not repeating pain, you are redeeming it. You were never meant to be a secret. You were meant to be a sound. Every word that leaves your mouth carries fragments of heaven's light. And when it reaches another weary heart, something sacred happens. Life begins again. You are a vessel of truth. You carry language that can open prisons. You are the evidence that stories, once surrendered, can save souls. Chosen one. No more hiding. No more shrinking. You have earned your sound through storms. And now, when you speak, Angels move, hearts awaken, and heaven nods in recognition, saying, "That's the one we prepared." When you type, "My voice rises," you are not simply leaving a comment, you are lifting a standard. You are declaring that the silence once used to suffocate you has lost its grip. Your voice now becomes a bridge between heaven's healing and earth's hunger. Those 3 words are spiritual electricity. They awaken everything inside you that once lay dormant. Every fear that told you, "Stay quiet," begins to crumble. Heaven hears that phrase as permission, permission to flow through you. To use your words as arrows of light, cutting through confusion and despair. And as your voice rises, it carries a sound unique to you, unrepeatable, unmistakable, unstoppable. It doesn't echo others, it releases its own frequency of freedom. That sound is how heaven identifies you now, not by the pain you endured, but by the truth you release. There are seasons when the soul becomes quiet again, not from pain, but from awe. You have reached that place. The battles behind you have carved something unshakable inside you. And now, peace sits where panic once lived. It feels strange at first, doesn't it, to not have to fight, to finally breathe without bracing for the next storm. This is what restoration feels like. Not fireworks, not noise, just stillness that hums with grace. God is no longer mending your wounds, He's adorning your strength. You have survived the breaking, and now you are stepping into the building. Imagine standing on a mountain after a long climb. The path was steep, the air thin, your legs trembling, but now you see the sunrise spilling over the peaks. The view takes your breath away. You realize every tear, every stumble, every lonely step brought you here. That's what this season is. The mountain was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal the view. There was a chosen one who once prayed, "God, please make life easier." But heaven answered, "No, I'll make you stronger." And that strength didn't come all at once. It came in whispers of courage, in small choices to forgive, to try again, to keep believing. Little by little, she became unshakable. That's you now. Every time you refused to quit, heaven recorded it. Every time you wiped your tears and whispered, "Still here." Another brick was laid in the foundation of your faith. The Word of God declares in the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 35, "So do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded." Confidence is not arrogance. It is quiet, knowing. It is walking through life with the awareness that God's fingerprints are on every detail. You don't need to force what flows naturally. Grace moves with you now like a river finding its course. This is the moment where gratitude becomes your greatest weapon. Because gratitude attracts miracles the way sunlight draws flowers. When your heart overflows with thanks, even ordinary days shimmer with divine meaning. If this message is reaching your heart, let that gratitude rise. And if you feel it deeply, here's something beautiful you can do. Press like, not as routine, but as recognition, like you're placing a candle in a window saying, "Light found me here." Oh, share this message the way you'd pass a torch to another traveler on a dark road. You don't know whose night you might light up. Sometimes one shared word becomes the very rope someone clings to. Subscribe if you want to stay close to this current of faith, to keep receiving the reminders that speak peace into your spirit at just the right time. Think of it like returning to a quiet garden where your soul can breathe again. And if you ever feel led to donate, do it like watering a tree whose shade you've rested under, not out of pressure, not out of duty, but because your heart whispers, let others rest here too. What you give isn't lost, it circulates. It travels into unseen places, turning into light for someone else's dark hour. Giving is never about money, it's about meaning. Every small act of kindness becomes a seed, and when you sow with joy, heaven multiplies it with wonder. It might return to you as unexpected peace, as open doors, or as the smile of a stranger whose life was touched by your generosity. What you support grows. If you feed fear, it multiplies. If you feed faith, it blossoms. That's why every like, every share, every offering of love is sacred. It tells heaven what kind of harvest you want to see in your life. There's no demand here, no persuasion, only invitation. You are free to give, free to stay, free to walk away. True love always allows choice, but if your spirit feels warmth as you listen, maybe that's God's gentle nudge saying, be part of this light. Because this light is not mine, it's ours. It's the collective flame of every soul who refuses to let hope die. Together, we keep the fire alive so others can find their way home. So let gratitude guide you. Let your peace decide. If this word has breathed life into you, carry it forward, whether with your share, your support, or simply with your silent prayer. For in the end, generosity isn't about giving things, it's about giving presence. It's about saying, I believe in light, and I will help keep it burning. And as you do, heaven leans close, smiling softly, whispering, well done, faithful one. You have turned your healing into hope. And sometimes the evidence of divine favor doesn't look like open doors or instant blessings. It looks like peace after chaos, like quiet after years of noise. That's where you are now. You are living in the space between restoration and revelation, where everything begins to make sense. When you look back, you can trace the thread, how every disappointment led to direction, how every closed path redirected you toward purpose. You start to see that none of it was wasted. The pain you thought broke you was actually stretching you. The prayers you thought went unanswered were shaping you. Every part of your story has purpose, even the ones you'd rather forget. God weaves all of it together, the laughter, the tears, the silence, the miracles, until it forms something you never could have imagined. What once looked like fragments now reveal a flawless design. There was once a chosen one who couldn't understand why life seemed so unfair. Every time she made progress, another obstacle appeared. It felt like she was moving in circles. But one day, while looking down from a hill, she realized those circles had formed a spiral. She wasn't repeating, she was rising. Every cycle had lifted her higher, closer to divine perspective. That's what happens when heaven refines you. You begin to understand that repetition was preparation. What once felt like delay was discipline. You were learning patience, wisdom, and discernment, not punishment. According to what is written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 9, in their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. You made plans, but God wrote process. You imagined speed, but He designed structure. What looked like a slow path was really a solid one. Because divine timing never rushes, it builds. Look at your life now. You may not be where you thought you'd be, but you are exactly where you need to be. You have peace where you once had panic, clarity where you once had confusion. That's progress disguised as quiet. Growth doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it sneaks in quietly, in the way you respond differently to things that once broke you. You no longer chase validation, no longer fear solitude, no longer mistake stillness for stagnation. That's maturity, the fruit of all the waiting. There is something sacred about realizing you no longer crave what once tempted you. That's how heaven signals transformation. When what once attracted your pain no longer fits your peace, you've outgrown the version of yourself that needed to be understood, that begged for belonging, that feared being left behind. Chosen one, you are no longer fighting for a place, you are the place. You carry atmosphere wherever you go. You walk into rooms and bring calm. You speak softly and still shift the energy around you. That's the authority of one who has survived refining. It's easy to underestimate the quiet victories, the mornings you got up when you wanted to disappear, the moments you forgave without apology, the nights you prayed even when it hurt. Those moments were unseen by people, but celebrated by heaven. Each one became a brick in the foundation of who you are now. You have become a living testimony that endurance builds beauty. You didn't just survive, you transformed. You learned to dance on ashes, to worship while waiting, to believe again after heartbreak. And now, your life radiates a kind of peace that can't be faked. It's earned. When others look at you, they may not see the cost of that peace, but heaven does. God watched you walk through valleys you never thought you'd leave and come out shining. That shine is not arrogance, it's evidence. Do you feel it? The way your spirit has settled. You no longer panic when storms approach, because you know who controls the wind. You don't crumble when things shift, because you understand that all movement, whether shaking or rising, works together for your good. This is divine maturity, trusting the unseen, honoring the process, resting even while rebuilding. It's no longer about proving faith, it's about embodying it. You are becoming what you once prayed for. The version of you who pleaded for peace is watching, amazed, as you now carry it effortlessly. The world may never know how much strength it took to reach this calm, but you know, and God knows. So breathe deeply. You've entered the chapter where you don't have to force anything. What's meant for you is flowing naturally now. You've mastered the art of surrender, and that is where true power lives. The process was hard, but it was holy, and because you didn't give up, heaven has made sure that every pain once endured will echo back as purpose fulfilled. Every promise carries a turning point, a sacred moment, when heaven whispers. Now, you are standing in that moment. Chosen one. The time of waiting has given way to divine motion. You have crossed the unseen threshold between prophecy and manifestation. What was once spoken over you is about to take form before you. For so long, you felt like you were standing still while everyone else was moving. But what you couldn't see was that heaven was aligning details in silence. God was preparing people, places, and moments to meet you in perfect timing. There was no delay, only divine design. You are entering a season where the seeds you planted in tears will bloom in public. where the things that didn't make sense will finally fit together like pieces of a long-awaited puzzle. Everything that once fell apart is now revealing the pattern hidden beneath the pain. There once was a chosen one, a musician who wrote songs that no one heard. He played in small cafes to empty rooms, wondering if his gift mattered. But one night, a stranger recorded his song and shared it online. Within days, millions listened. What felt invisible for years became suddenly undeniable. That is how God moves quietly. Then suddenly, and now, heaven is whispering to you, get ready for suddenly. I'm more. It will not come through striving, but through alignment. You don't need to chase favor. You already walk with it. The same hand that closed old doors has turned the key on new ones. And this time, you won't have to force them open. They will recognize your name because your name is now sealed with purpose. As the ancient words in the book of Haggai, chapter 2, verse 9, declare, the glory of this present house will be greater than the glory of the former house. And in this place I will grant peace. You are walking into greater, not the kind of greater that shouts with fame, but the kind that glows quietly with fulfillment. The peace you carry now will guard everything you gain. This new chapter isn't about proving your worth, it's about living your worth. But before heaven unfolds the next stage, there is an act of agreement waiting for you, a spiritual signature that says, I recognize the shift. Length 3. In the comments below, type the number 444. Let it be your symbol of divine stability, the number of foundations, of angels surrounding you, of heaven confirming that your steps are protected. When you write it, don't see it as routine, see it as reverence. It's you saying, God, I'm aligned, I'm anchored, I'm ready. No, the storms taught you endurance. Now, stillness will teach you stewardship. This is the era where you don't have to rebuild alone. God is sending help, divine partnerships, unexpected allies, resources that flow from places you never imagined, and you'll know it's Him. Because everything will come with peace, not pressure. You will wake up one morning and realize the heaviness is gone. What used to feel like striving now feels like breathing. What once drained you now delights you. This is the ease that follows obedience. When you typed those 444, you marked more than numbers. You marked a covenant between heaven's promise and your preparation. You declared that your foundation is not shaking anymore. You are rooted in grace, and grace will carry you farther than effort ever could. Chosen one. Understand this. Your consistency was the soil of your breakthrough. You didn't just wait, you worshipped while waiting. You didn't just survive, you stayed faithful. That faithfulness has been noticed. Heaven rewards endurance that no one else sees. There's a holy rhythm about to flow through your days. Ideas will come easily. Connections will form naturally. Doors will open quietly. This is not coincidence, it's confirmation. And in those moments, remember, the same God who walked with you through the wilderness is walking with you into the harvest. He has not changed. The season has. So, stand firm. Look forward. Don't carry yesterday's fears into tomorrow's fields. The soil has changed. The air has cleared. And grace has gone before you. This is your season of greater peace. You don't have to fight for visibility. You were never meant to be hidden forever. Your light has matured it. Now shines without striving. Write it. Believe it. Live it. The number 444 is your signature of stability, your reminder that heaven builds with precision and purpose. The waiting is over. The foundation is firm, and what's about to rise from it will carry your name and heaven's glory intertwined. There is a holy weight that comes with being chosen. It's not heavy with burden, it's heavy with purpose. You feel it now, don't you? That subtle awareness that your life no longer belongs to chaos. You move differently. You think differently. The same situations that used to pull you into confusion no longer touch you. That's what maturity in the spirit feels like, quiet discernment clothed in peace. The old version of you needed validation to feel valuable, but now you know who you are even when no one affirms it. You've learned that identity rooted in applause is fragile, but identity rooted in God is unshakable. You've stopped chasing affirmation and started attracting alignment. The ones meant to walk with you will recognize your frequency without you having to explain it. You are walking in a depth most people never reach. God didn't take you through storms so you could live shallow. Every trial carved out space for revelation. You understand things now that only experience could teach. You read people differently. You sense atmospheres before words are spoken. That sensitivity isn't weakness, it's divine training. There was once a chosen one who had a gift for perceiving things others missed, but he often questioned it, afraid people would call him strange. Over time, he realized that what made him different was actually what made him effective. He began to embrace his sensitivity as strategy. When he stopped hiding his uniqueness, God began to use it. And that's what heaven is doing with you now, turning what others mocked into the very mantle that marks you. You are learning that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. The loudest authority is often wrapped in gentleness. That's why you no longer fight every battle you've realized. Discernment is sometimes stronger than defense. Not every accusation deserves your energy. Not every invitation deserves your yes. End warning. It was proclaimed in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 4. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. End 1. That verse is the essence of your life right now. Perseverance has finished its work. You are standing in the fullness that only endurance can build. You've been stretched, shaped, and sanctified by the slow, steady hand of God. What once hurt you now helps you. The situations that used to make you question your faith now confirm it. Because you've seen what happens when you let time and trust do their work. You don't panic anymore when things take longer. You've learned that delay is not denial. It's divine timing stretching your capacity. The higher you go, the quieter it gets. That's not loneliness, that's clarity. Eagles don't fly in flocks, they soar in solitude. God has separated you so you can hear His frequency without interference. What used to distract you no longer fits the atmosphere of where you're going. There's something sacred about understanding silence. You've learned to discern between the silence of absence and the silence of preparation. When heaven seems still now, you don't assume abandonment, you recognize incubation. You know that quiet seasons often hide loud blessings. Chosen one, your calling has ripened. You've been through the pruning, and now you are bearing fruit without striving. There's a calm authority in your steps because you've stopped rushing. You've stopped forcing things. You trust the rhythm of heaven. When people see your peace, they won't always understand it. They'll wonder how you can remain still when everything around you shifts. But you'll smile quietly, because you know something they don't, that every time you were broken, God was building. You've learned that surrender is the greatest strategy. You've seen the strength that comes from gentleness, the courage hidden in stillness, the wisdom that only pain could produce. This is divine equilibrium, where faith no longer wrestles with fear, but rests above it. You no longer crave the stage, you prefer the secret place. You no longer beg for miracles, you become them. Every breath you take now feels like worship. Every step you take feels like prayer. You've entered that sacred alignment where doing and being merge into one, and soon others will look to you, not because of what you say, but because of what you carry. They'll sense peace when you enter, healing when you speak, hope when you simply exist. That's what happens when you've been processed by heaven. You become atmosphere, not just influence. You are not just chosen to shine, you are chosen to steady. You carry balance in a world addicted to chaos. You are the calm in the current, the voice that doesn't shout, but still shifts hearts. This is the fruit of perseverance, quiet authority, gentle power, unshakable grace. You have become what the storm could not destroy, evidence that endurance births elegance, and that divine timing never fails. There comes a time when the shadows of the past no longer reach you. You can look back now without pain, remembering not the struggle itself, but the strength it gave you. That is how freedom feels, not forgetting the past, but being unbound by it. You are walking in that freedom now. The chains that once defined you have turned into testimonies that refine you. You no longer carry what was meant to crush you. You've learned to travel light. The people who once misunderstood you, the situations that once drained you, none of them hold power anymore. Their voices have faded, replaced by the still assurance that you are exactly where God wants you to be. When you look in the mirror, you no longer see the one who was rejected, lost, or tired. You see someone reborn, not just changed on the outside, but renewed within. Every scar now glows with a quiet beauty, like rivers of gold filling the cracks of a once broken vessel. The Japanese call it kintsugi, the art of mending with gold. That's what heaven did with you. As the ancient truth written in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9 reminds us, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." End of T. That verse is not just comfort, it's commission. It means you have permission to move forward, unafraid. It means the season of survival is over, and the era of thriving has begun. There was once a chosen one who carried deep regret. Every time he tried to move forward, memories dragged him back. But one night, while walking along the shore, he noticed something. The tide erased his footprints within seconds. It was as if the ocean was whispering, "Let it go." He realized the same God who controlled the sea could also wash away shame. From that day, he stopped living in apology and started living in gratitude. That's where you are now, the shoreline of release. The waves of grace have reached your past and pulled it away. You no longer owe explanations to anyone, not even to your old self. The person you were then was necessary for who you are now, but they don't define your future. You have crossed out of guilt into grace. You have stepped out of fear into faith. Every burden you carried was actually material for your anointing. God never wastes pain. He converts it into purpose. Look closely at your journey. The patterns are clear now. The people who left taught you to depend on God. The doors that closed taught you discernment. The seasons of silence taught you to hear heaven's whispers. Even your failures became the foundation for wisdom. Chosen one. The reason you will never go back there again is because there's nothing left for you there. The lessons have been learned. The ties have been untied. The soil of that season has given all it could. To return would mean to shrink, and heaven has called you to expand. Sometimes, freedom feels like forgetting how to fight battles that no longer exist. You don't have to keep your armor on when the war is over. You can rest now. Walk barefoot through peace. And let joy do what striving never could. Forgiveness has already done its work. You've forgiven others. But most importantly, you've forgiven yourself. You've stopped punishing yourself for what you didn't know then. You were growing. You were learning. You were doing your best with the light you had. Now, a new light shines on your path. It's not harsh. It's warm. It's the light of new beginnings that doesn't blind. It guides. You are not haunted by the past anymore. You are healed by it. And when memories return, they don't wound, they witness. They testify that grace won. The door behind you is not just closed, it's sealed. You can't reopen it. And you don't want to. What's ahead is too radiant to risk looking back. So walk freely. Walk lightly. Walk joyfully. The old version of you has served its purpose and bowed out gracefully. The new you has entered anchored, fearless, and filled with light. This is what it means to be redeemed, not that life erases pain, but that God repurposes it into beauty. And as you continue forward, remember, the same grace that brought you this far will keep guiding you home. You've been rewritten by mercy itself, no longer a story of survival, but of sacred transformation. Every breath you take now is proof that redemption is real, lasting, and complete. The past bows before you. The future rises to greet you with grace. There is a sacred calm that settles in after deliverance, a quiet knowing that the storm truly has passed. You stand in that stillness now, not waiting for the next battle, but learning how to live in peace without guilt. It feels new, doesn't it? To wake without heaviness, to smile without pretending, to breathe without fear of what might come next. You are learning that peace is not the absence of struggle, it is the presence of wholeness. The same God who silenced your storms now teaches you how to walk softly through the sunlight. The air feels different now because you have changed. You no longer move from anxiety, you move from alignment. Everything you endured has prepared you for this gentle strength. You are no longer a survivor, you are a carrier of serenity. And everywhere you go, that serenity becomes contagious. There was once a chosen one who finally reached peace after years of chaos. One evening, she sat near a lake at sunset. The water was still, reflecting the sky in shades of fire and gold. She whispered, "So this is what healing feels like." The lake didn't answer, but the breeze did. It brushed her face softly, as if heaven nodded in agreement. That's where you are right now, standing at your own lake, watching heaven's colors dance on the surface of peace. The reflection is clear. It's you whole, holy, healed. As written in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." You are not half restored. You are being completed, layer by layer, by divine design. Nothing about you is accidental. Nothing in you is unfinished. And in this moment of completion, gratitude becomes the language of your soul. It rises naturally like incense, not obligation. It's the melody that plays when the heart finally recognizes what the hands of God have done. If this message finds you resting in that peace, let your heart respond in its own way. Maybe you'll press like, not out of habit, but as a quiet nod to heaven, a way of saying, yes, this word reached me. Maybe you'll share it, like passing a candle flame to another who still sits in the dark. One small act of light can travel farther than you'll ever know. And sometimes, that's how miracles spread, one gentle gesture at a time. Perhaps you'll feel led to subscribe, not for content, but for connection, to stay within this flow of words that keep your heart centered and your spirit reminded. It's like choosing to walk the same path beside familiar footprints of faith. And if your spirit ever stirs toward generosity, to donate, let it be as natural as exhaling. See it as planting a seed in fertile soil, a living seed that grows into light for someone else. What you release never leaves you. It transforms into compassion, reaching farther than sight. You may even feel to leave a comment, not as chatter, but as your footprint in the sand, a trace of gratitude left for others to see, proof that this message met you somewhere sacred. Sometimes, your few words become the echo someone else needs to keep walking. Each of these actions, like, comment, share, subscribe, donate, isn't transaction, it's translation. It's how the gratitude in your heart takes form in the world. Like raindrops joining a river, every gesture keeps the current flowing so that others may find this peace too. But remember, none of it is demanded. The beauty of love is choice. God never coerces. He calls softly. You are free to receive, to reflect, to rest. Every offering that comes from peace carries more power than 1,000 done in pressure. This is how divine generosity works. It begins in the heart, ripples outward, and returns multiplied. Like a melody echoing across mountains, your kindness will travel beyond your knowing and return as unexpected joy. You are part of something far bigger than yourself, a chorus of healed voices carrying hope across the earth. Each act of connection keeps that chorus alive. So take this word. Let it sit gently within you. Let gratitude be your worship, generosity your language, and peace your proof. You've come a long way from the trembling days of doubt. Now, you are steady, light, calm, constant, and quietly radiant. And as you stand at this threshold, heaven watches, smiling. You have become what pain never wanted you to be: free. Whatever way your heart chooses to respond, let it be beautiful. Let it be yours. Because every sincere act, whether a word, a share, a seed, or a prayer, joins heaven's great story of grace, continuing through you. Every calling carries a commissioning, and every commissioning begins in quiet recognition. You've stepped into that now. Heaven has confirmed your endurance, refined your faith, and entrusted you with something few. Receive spiritual authority born from suffering. You no longer move as one merely healed. You move as one sent. The weight you once called burden has transformed into mantle. You carry peace not as emotion, but as weapon. You speak, and the atmosphere shifts. You pray, and realities begin to realign. You are not the same soul that entered the storm trembling. You are the one who now carries thunder in stillness. There was once a chosen one who struggled to understand why the battles never seemed to end. Every victory was followed by another challenge. But one day, God whispered, "I was not testing your pain, I was training your power." That revelation changed everything. She realized her trials were not proof of rejection, they were evidence of readiness. That's what your journey has been. Divine training. The pressure didn't come to destroy you, it came to prepare your hands for holy work. Like a blacksmith heating iron, God shaped you through resistance until you could carry the fire without burning. Now, as the new season unfolds, heaven gives new orders. You are not being called to hide in caves of safety anymore. You are being sent into spaces that need light, into hearts that have forgotten warmth, into corners of the world where despair has tried to build a home. You are heaven's envoy, subtle, steady, unstoppable. As the Word of God reveals in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 1, "The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me. He has anointed me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for captives." That scripture isn't distant history, it's your present commission. The same Spirit that anointed prophets now breathes through your words, your actions, your very presence. You have become a vessel of healing, not through perfection, but through purification. You don't have to announce your authority. It reveals itself naturally. When you walk into chaos, calm follows. When you sit in silence, people sense peace without understanding why. You have become the embodiment of answered prayer, someone who radiates hope without effort. There is a quiet power in you now that no title can give and no enemy can steal. You've earned it in secret through prayers no one heard, through nights when you chose worship over worry, through moments when obedience cost you everything familiar. Every yes you whispered in pain has turned into fire in your spirit. Your words now carry weight, not because you speak loudly, but because you've lived deeply. You've learned that true authority doesn't need to dominate, it simply exists. You no longer fight for attention, you attract alignment. The right people, the right doors, the right timing, all drawn by the fragrance of purpose you now carry. You are no longer praying from desperation, but from dominion. Your prayers have matured from asking if God will move to knowing He already is. That shift changes everything. It moves you from begging heaven for help to partnering with heaven in purpose. And though the path ahead may still hold challenges, they no longer scare you. You recognize opposition as opportunity, resistance as refining, delay as direction. The weapons once used against you now lie broken, powerless in your wake. You've been trained to see through illusion. You understand that every storm begins as a setup for revelation. You've learned that when life shakes, it's only to expose what cannot be moved. You are one of those unshakable things now. Chosen one. Heaven trusts you. That's why the battle was so fierce, because the calling is so significant. You are not being released to blend in. You are being released to build. The grace on you now isn't just for survival, it's for strategy. You are being given blueprints for restoration, divine ideas, words of wisdom, instructions for change. Some of them will come in dreams, others in divine encounters, but all of them will carry the same signature, peace. Because where God leads, peace always follows. So move forward with quiet confidence. You don't need to seek validation anymore. The evidence will follow you. Miracles will unfold around you, not because you chase them, but because they chase those who carry heaven's heart. You are no longer a wanderer, you are a messenger. You are not lost, you are launched. And as you walk into this new chapter, remember this: your power is not in striving, but in staying aligned. Heaven has trained your hands for impact and your heart for love. You carry both the sword and the oil, truth that cuts and mercy that heals. The earth doesn't need another echo, it needs a sound. And you, chosen one, are that sound, a living voice of restoration, sent to remind the world that light still lives. It feels different now, the air, the rhythm, even the silence. You have arrived at the place heaven promised all along, not a destination of fame or noise, but a sanctuary of understanding. You have walked through storms that tried to strip you bare, and yet, here you stand, clothed in peace, crowned with clarity. The war that once raged inside you has gone quiet. It is finished. You are finally able to see the divine pattern clearly. Every heartbreak became a hinge that opened new doors. Every tear watered the soil beneath your next step. Every ending was a secret, beginning wrapped in disguise. You were never walking in circles. You were being led in spirals, higher each time, until your vision matched heaven's. This is what fulfillment feels like. Not a sudden burst of triumph, but a steady hum of grace that fills every moment. You no longer need signs to believe, because you have become one. Your peace is the evidence. Your stillness is the miracle. There once was a chosen one who, after a lifetime of striving, finally stopped running. He climbed to the top of a quiet hill one morning and watched the sunrise. For the first time, he didn't ask for anything. He simply said, "Thank you." And as light poured over him, he realized the truth. He hadn't been chasing destiny. Destiny had been chasing him. That is where you are now. You don't have to strive anymore. You don't have to beg for what's already yours. The inheritance you've been seeking isn't a reward, it's a relationship. It's the constant awareness that heaven walks with you, even in ordinary moments. As recorded in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 5, he who was seated on the throne said, "Behold, I am making all things new." Endo, all things, not just what was broken, but what was beautiful. Not only your wounds, but your wonder. God didn't just restore your life, He renewed your vision. You see differently now. You notice the sacred hidden in simple things, the laughter of a child, the kindness of a stranger, the sunrise after rain. That's the language of completion, gratitude for what once seemed small. The world will keep spinning fast, but you have learned the art of moving slowly through it, carrying peace like a lantern that doesn't flicker, even in chaos. You don't rush to prove or defend. You walk softly because you know heaven defends its own. You've become someone new, strong, but not hardened, wise, but still gentle. Your heart no longer leaks through old wounds. It overflows through healed ones. Every scar has become a doorway for light. The same hands that once trembled now bless freely. The same eyes that once wept now see clearly. This is not just the end of a season, it is the completion of a cycle. Heaven's circle has closed perfectly, and you are standing in the center of it, radiant with purpose. You carry the quiet glow of someone who has seen too much of God to ever doubt again. There will still be mountains ahead. Yes, but now you climb them with rest, not resistance. You know the view will be worth every step. And even when valleys appear again, you won't fear them. You've learned that valleys only deepen your roots. You don't need to chase after miracles anymore. You've become the space where they live. Your life itself is the altar where heaven and earth meet. Every breath you take now is worship unspoken, unforced, eternal, chosen one. You have reached the point where heaven's whisper and your heartbeat sound the same. You are synchronized with divine rhythm. You don't wait for peace, you release it. You don't seek light, you shine it. You don't search for signs, you embody them. And as you walk from here, know this, you will never go through that pain again. Not because life is free from hardship, but because you are no longer the same person who entered it. The fire refined you. The water baptized you. The wind carried you. And now the light crowns you. Everything you lost has been rewritten in glory. Everything you surrendered has returned in wholeness. And as heaven closes this chapter, it leaves one final seal upon your heart. It is finished. You have become what the storm could not destroy, proof that divine love always wins. And so, you walk forward, no longer carrying the weight of yesterday, but the wisdom of eternity. The story is complete, the circle sealed, and heaven whispers one last time, "Well done, chosen one." And now, the story rests in your hands. What began as a whisper from heaven has traveled through 17 chapters of your becoming. You have walked through ashes, storms, and silence, and discovered the light that was always inside you. This isn't just an ending, it's a passing of flame. The same glow that found you here is meant to move beyond you now. If this message has stirred something deep within, let gratitude lead your response. You can press like as if lighting a small lantern in the night, one spark of thanks joining countless others across the world. You can share it like offering that lantern to someone still walking in darkness, so their path might glow again. You might subscribe, not for routine, but to return to this quiet river whenever your soul needs rest. Each new word will find you like morning light through an open window. And if your heart ever whispers to donate, let it be gentle and joyful, as if laying one smooth stone on the bridge of hope for those still crossing their storms. Every gift becomes motion, traveling outward, returning as peace in ways unseen. You may also leave a comment, not to be noticed, but to leave your footprint in the sand of grace, proof that this word met you somewhere sacred. Sometimes your few words become the lifeline another soul was searching for. Whatever you choose, let it come from love. Every like, every share, every comment, every seed of giving, every moment of presence, they are all acts of light. Together, they form an endless constellation of hearts, remembering that they are not alone. The story does not end here. It continues through you.